Excuse me. So I have 2 people watching now. Probably one of them is me. Because I'm watching so that I can monitor the chat. I wanted to do a live coffee chat today. I debated over doing the live coffee chat because I was going to film the coffee chat because I wrote down some notes. I have been off schedule with YouTube. I've been off schedule with a few things. And I wanted to talk about why I've been off schedule a bit with, hello, how are you, Maria? I've been off schedule because self-care. It's been almost a year. Hello, since my dad died and my mom almost died. And I tried to find my new normal. And in the process, I realized I had overwhelmed myself trying to do all of the things and trying to be all of the things. And as I kind of adjusted to my new normal, part of that was participating actively in my own self-care. And self-care has to come from a place of self-love and commitment and accountability. I am a lot better, a whole lot better. I've been trying to get back on schedule with YouTube, trying to do more live chats so that it doesn't require me to do a lot of editing. Monday was a rest day, though. I think Mr. Rockstar and I ate something that didn't agree with us, or we had a little bit of food poisoning because neither one of us felt good at all Monday. I was going to do my Monday's Musing coffee chat, but I wanted to sort of address the elephant in the room, which is I haven't been posting videos on schedule. haven't been doing as much as I really want to because I've been trying to find my boundaries with being actively participating in my own life, being present, being careful about not saying yes when I really need to say no, not overwhelming myself with things just so I can do all the things, or saying yes when I really need to say no. You know, we get really busy with life and we get really busy with trying to do all of the things. We can't do all of the things all of the time. So I've been trying to find a way to work in self-care and a better routine. And I am not a morning person, but I have found that when I get up early in the morning, I get more done. Yeah, take care. Oh, are you leaving me? Okay. You know, one of the things I found not recently, I watched this webinar. It was an art lady, and she said, being good at art is not about how good you are. It's about how you are. That your art is about you. And that you have to put your true raw self on the page or the canvas. And that is very true with a lot of different things. You know, you could replace the word art with writing, with creativity, with life, with a lot of different things. And so being good at life is not about how good you are. It's about how you are. Hello at work. Oh, okay. I'm glad you're here. Making my own journals and creating art and writing and doing creative things is my passion. I was very hesitant to try to make my own journals. I was very hesitant because I knew that the first go round I wouldn't do very well at it. And I had gotten so used to the as close to perfect as you can get notebooks from Bree and from the Enigma from Taroko Shop and different journals that I was like, there is no way that my journal is going to be, you know, decent enough for it to hold up to all the crap that I throw at it. And I do throw a lot of things at my journal pages. Um, but it was fun and it was creative and I had a blast, even though it was a bit frustrating. And part of self-care extends past things like giving ourselves a manicure or going to get a manicure or a pedicure. It extends past doing things like a face mask or hair moisturizer. And believe me, I have to do the hair thing. Since I started taking biotin and vitamins, my face has cleared up though. Um, since I've started getting outside more and walking again, my face and my skin have cleared up. I feel better. The more that I actively take better care of myself, the better I feel, the more creative I am. And it's just taken me a bit of time to kind of get back on a routine and a schedule. Soul care, yes, yes. The more, but there have been times when I have questioned whether that is selfish or not. And I found this really great post by a website. It's called Hello Giggles. And the post is called 6 Important Differences Between Self-Care and Selfishness. And what it says is really important. And, you know, it does creep up in the corner of our minds when we are trying to actively practice self-care that we are being a bit selfish. Sometimes it's hard not to go, oh my God, I'm being selfish, you know, but there's a difference. You know, when you tell somebody no, like, I don't want to be selfish, but I can't do that, or I don't have enough time, or I'm unable to, there's a part of me that every time I say that, I feel selfish. And this is what he says, she says, self-care has far-reaching benefits for you and everyone in your life. And that's very true. It also says self-care isn't done with an intention to harm others. Also very true. Selfishness prevents you from giving of yourself. Self-care enables it. And that is so true. Self-care builds strength, most definitely. Self-care helps bring out the best in you. Yes. Selfishness excludes others, whereas self-care does not. And I'm not going to read the whole article because I'll leave the link in the description below. But when I read that article, I thought, ooh, wow, yeah, that's part of my issue. As somebody who works full-time but doesn't get paid full-time and works from home, a lot of people don't think that what I do is a real job. So my hours are flexible. I can put off doing what I'm doing, you know, because I work from home. I mean, I can do what I do anytime, right? Well, yes and no. But see, when I mess up my schedule, one, it throws me off. And two, that means I'm taking time that's usually when Mr. Rockstar's home, or when I have Victor, or when I have time for family or time for me. Or, you know, I have to do things for my mom, or I have to do things for probate court, or have to do things, administrative things, or just get out of the damn house, you know? So my schedule isn't flexible. Unfortunately, though, I think a lot of people that work from home suffer from that, where a lot of other people don't think that it's a real job. My husband used to work for his dad. His dad owned a TV repair shop. And when he worked for his dad, he lived at home, and he had taken a long break he'd taken about a 6-month break from truck driving. So it wasn't a real job. And he didn't get paid real money. Like, you know, he got paid, but it wasn't like a real paycheck because he lived at home. So his dad didn't really have to pay him a whole lot because, you know, he was living there and eating their groceries and living under their roof and using their electricity and stuff like that. So if you were to get somebody else to work there, they would have gotten paid more. But when he was applying for things, now he was a manager there, and there were different times when he actually did get paid a real salary. But But, you know, you get to a place where when he was filling out job applications and doing his resume and stuff, because he did own part of the business, he just didn't get, you know, it's like when you work for yourself until your business is making a profit that's a good profit, you won't necessarily give your own self a salary. You invest that money back into your business. So on a resume or whatever, when he talked to somebody and they were like, well, that's not a real job. You know, but what constitutes that? So I had to look at a lot of different things. I had to look at my outlook on what I do. Do I personally look at myself as having not having a real job because I don't make even part-time money at it? Or do I consider it not to be a real job because I work from home? Do I, you know, because my website, the blog, because different things, because they don't bring more than some change in, that they don't sustain themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I had to look at all that. And then I'm like, you know, but this is what I love and this is what I do, and I'm building. And my outlook on it had to change in order for me to be positive and comfortable and secure enough to say, okay, when I say I can't do this, I genuinely can't do this. When I say I don't have the time or the energy, I genuinely don't have the time or the energy. If I put forward enough of a little bit of a rest period, say a video or so a week for a little bit, then get myself back in tune with me, you know, where I can feel comfortable and get on a better routine, and I can learn how to adjust things so that I'm not trying to do all the things all the time every single day. You know, I can't do it. So I had to have some adjustment period because I went from being, you know, having the energy and the fortitude and the enthusiasm to do all of the things, to, after my dad died and then my mom got out of the hospital, it was traumatic. And then I had to go, okay, what's my new normal? It is a boundary issue. Thanks, Dawn. And I had to reevaluate how I did things. I had to get back on a routine, but I had to make sure it was a better routine. And I've been easing into that. And although it broke my heart in a way to not be able to post the videos the way that I wanted to, I knew I needed that time. I knew I had to readjust because I was fighting tooth or nail depression for a while, with the grief and everything. And I was struggling. And in that struggle, my boundaries were definitely askew. You know, I was overwhelming myself. I was pushing myself past the point of exhaustion sometimes, trying to get things done, staying up really late until the early morning, editing videos, trying to get things done. And that wasn't good. And a part of it was because I as soon as I would get back on a schedule, something would happen, and then I'd get off the schedule again. And I'm one of those people that, because of ADHD and depression and anxiety, I have to have a pretty decent structure when it comes to the routine and how I do things and when I do things, so that things actually do get done. And the more that the depression kicks in, the more I procrastinate, because the depression is telling me, you aren't going to be able to do this. You suck at this. You know, it's that whole self-doubt and the fear and stuff. So depression is a bitch. But the more I take care of myself and the more I work on things that make me feel good and make me feel better, the more creative I am and the more energy and time I actually have, because I'm not fighting myself. Well, I'm not fighting the depression. Hold on a second, I had to sneeze. Maybe not. there's somebody out there cutting grass, and I just went out and checked the mail. And I finally got the battery for the Lumix camera because it kept dying. It kept dying, and it was like driving me absolutely crazy. So it is now charging, and hopefully I won't have issues with that anymore, because filming with the webcam from this thing right here is at a really weird angle. It's great for some things. Hello? But it's not great for other things. I can't get a truly overhead shot with that webcam unless I put it directly in front of me, and then it's in the way and I can't journal with my arms around it. So I'm going to adjust some more things. I keep adjusting. Ah, excuse me. How many of you said bless you? So that's where I've been at. That's why videos haven't been excuse me again. That's why videos haven't been on schedule, and why the newsletter didn't get out in July, and why I've been why I've been struggling to keep up with what I'd like to do, and haven't really been doing all of the things I'd like to do. I have been doing things, and I do have some videos I need to edit and put up for YouTube. And I have a new journal that I got. I'm a field tester, a journal tester for Epica, for one of their new journals, and I'm going to share the unboxing of that video, and I just need to put it together. I've shared the pictures on Instagram, and I just shared some of the pictures in my Journey with Burgess group, on my actual page, my Burgess Taylor page, I think. But I'm really excited because I feel a lot better. This Monday would have been a live chat had Mr. Rockstar and I not been feeling ill because of, I guess, I don't know if it was food poisoning or if it just was something that did not agree with either one of us. So I've kind of gotten a little bit ahead with videos. When I'm done with this live video, I'm going to be filming my video for Patreon for Saturday, and I'm going to be putting together some footage for tomorrow's journal video for YouTube. So if I can get all that done and pre-scheduled, if I can get the video up by the time where it's uploading and ready and everything for YouTube tomorrow, by the time I leave to go pick up Victor, and get Patreon's video up and scheduled, because I will have Victor all weekend. It's a holiday weekend, and I will have Victor. So I will be randomly posting pictures, maybe to Instagram, doing a bit of journaling. I doubt very seriously if I am online a whole lot. But I don't want to be back here editing a video and doing that kind of stuff while he's here. And Mr. Rockstar's working all weekend. So this gave me a chance to have a little bit of time for me and a little bit of time to get ahead with some things. And I'm really excited about it because I actually have done it. I have actually gotten things done and done what I wanted to do and had some fun doing it. And I feel a lot better. And I think that's because every morning I've been getting up by like 9 o'clock at the latest. I've been getting up usually between 6:30 and say 9 o'clock, depending on how early I went to sleep and how I slept. And I've been getting up and doing my morning routine. I've quit tracking things. And instead of taking the time to track things, I'm actually just doing things. I am not a tracker. Now, if I get to a point where I need to start tracking time again, I will start tracking time again. But it's that old adage of, do I want to be talking about writing, or do I want to be actually writing? Do I want to be talking about art, or do I actually want to be creating the art? You know, I don't want to take all this time to talk about writing. It's why I don't do a lot of writing videos too much anymore, because I could actually spend that time writing. But I do on occasion want to talk about writing. I just don't want to talk about all the time anymore, because I've already said a lot of what I could say about it, and then the rest kind of becomes redundant. But then being creative means that you can find a different way to do things. You don't always have to do the same thing the same way. So I just feel a lot better. Part of it's because I've actually been practicing self-care. Now, September is self-love month for a lot of people. And I'm actually going to be actively participating in that in the self-love September. Um, for me, self-care has a great deal to do with self-love. Um, it is in a way self-love. Hello, good morning. It's about noon here. Um, so I feel really good. Our internet is still a little bit wonky. I'm going to have to call and find out why the internet speed is not where it should be. Otherwise, I'd be doing OBS, and I could actually do a live journal with me. And then, although y'all should know by now, I have a really hard time creating art and talking. So I can do like a voiceover, like I could actually do my art and then do a video with it, like but I have a really hard time talking and creating art, y'all. um Here in Texas it's still morning. Yeah, you're about an hour or so behind me. um Not that you're behind, but I think that you should still be 11, or depending, I think in some places are 2 hours behind, and then there are places that are ahead. The time zone thing kind of gets me every time. But I took a shower this morning. I did some walking around the yard this morning. I have roses behind me. Hello. My anniversary is next weekend. It's on the 8th. And we will have been married 6 years, but we have been celebrating our anniversary kind of early because he's going to be working when it's our actual anniversary. Yeah, it's next. Yeah, it's not this Saturday. It's next Saturday. So I received, um, these and the Faber-Castell kid brushes. Those are actually for me and Victor. And I got a number 6 in the Escoda Prado. And then there's a number 2 Escoda, the actual sable one. But it was on sale. It was $20. It was actually cheaper than the synthetic one. So I wish, though, I'm not a gold person. I like silver. I wish those sable ones had the silver or pewter or some other color other than gold. I'm not a big fan of gold. I think some things, gold or brass, like they look, I don't know, they look a little flashy, gaudy to me. And I'm not like I'm wearing red lipstick. But I do have an Amazon wish list. I will check and see if it's in the description. I believe I have the links for my Amazon lists, but I can give you the list to my Amazon wish list if you want. I have an influencer page. I have my favorites page. The influencer page is usually where I put down things that I buy, that I would suggest, that I buy and that I use and that I rebuy. And then I have my favorites, I think it's my favorites. It might be Journal Supply favorites or favorites. But those are the things that I do, like I love. Like I have been using since the very beginning. For example, I think it's on both the influencer and the favorites, is this the platinum carbon desk pen. I cut mine down, but it comes kind of long. Like it sits in one of those things that you see like at the bank, at people at the bank, they used to have the desk pens that had the little chain and, be like a long kind of pen. Those don't have, some of those don't have caps, but that's how this I've had since the very beginning. It was my second fountain pen. My first fountain pen was a platinum preppy. And I've had this since the very beginning, this exact pen. I actually, part of the words, I'm surprised they haven't faded off. But it's been the best pen ever, and I'd recommend it to anybody and everybody. I get carbon ink, platinum carbon ink, and I have some cartridges. I used to buy the cartridges. Now I do have one extra cartridge, but now I just take the carbon ink and fill the cartridge. But I do have one cartridge left that hasn't been opened that stays in my bag in case. You know, this dust catch eraser, it does leave a little tiny bit of like, but it doesn't go everywhere like a lot of erasers do. This is my favorite, and I like the Faber-Castell kneadable eraser. Like, there are certain things, and I love Oohoo glue sticks, but my next favorite glue stick is Elmer's extra strength glue stick. The extra strength. Goes on smooth, acid-free, photo-safe, non-toxic. So when I ran out of Oohoos, and sometime I had a patron buy me a bag of the small Oohoo glue sticks, and I finally ran out, and I went to Walmart and I found these extra strength glue sticks because I love these. Those are my next favorite. You know, one of my favorite journaling inks, other than, I like the platinum carbon ink to draw with, but when I don't want my handwriting to stand out, I like Noodler's Lexington Gray because it's waterproof. Well, it's called bulletproof, but it isn't so dark in your face as the black, and it's a beautiful color. And oh my goodness, it's gorgeous on Tomoe River paper. So it's one of my favorites. I am in love with the little Polaroid zip. I know a lot of people have talked about how much better the HP Sprocket is, and now people are talking about the Canon Ivy. But when I finally got that little thing to work, and I have gotten it to work, and I have my tablet, and now I just do my pictures, and I make sure that all my pictures that I want go into like the Google Photos, and I just pull them from my tablet and print them out, and it's like lovely. It's like the best thing ever. Now I still use my Canon printer, yes, I love it, Donna. I still use my Canon printer for certain things because there are some pictures that I want that are a little bit bigger. You know, there are some times when I don't want the picture on glossy paper, but having a little picture that's sticky backed where I don't have to glue it, where I could actually take it with me in my tablet, where as long as there's like Wi-Fi, I could print it, or I could take a picture of something and then print it, because the Bluetooth is enabled. But I'm like so happy. Unfortunately, it still does not work with my phone. Then even the new to me phone that I got, but I don't care. It works with the tablet, and that makes me happy. And I am over the moon about this. Now I have this, and this is still my craft table, and I'm still kind of going through. Of course, every time I do a video about a travel bag or about my planner setup, it seems, then something happens to change it. You know, every time I do a video like where I go, okay, this is what I've got, you know, then something happens to change it. But that's okay. That means, you know, we're revamping and reorganizing, and the more that we do things, the better we get at them. And I'm going to continue to reorganize my travel art bag, because the more I do urban sketching, the more I'll see what I actually use and what I don't use. And I have tendonitis and arthritis, so the lighter that bag is, the better. You know, now if I'm going out of town, if I'm going to my mom's, or we go on a weekend away, or that is the karma of filming. If we were actually to go somewhere out of town, I would take both my purse and my backpack. But if I'm just going urban sketching, usually I throw my wallet and my keys in my backpack. I'm not taking both my purse. Now, if I'm going to go get Victor, and I just want to take my little sketchbook and my little tiny watercolor thing, I'm going to throw it in that little bag with a little water bottle, and I'm going to go. You know, I've got a little plastic one, this one, and then I've got an even smaller glass one, and I've got a medium glass one. You know, I don't like to take the glass one if it's going to go on my purse, but I can dip my brush right in this water. I was talking to Romney, and I found out that the reason aqua brushes, water brushes, tend to get clogged is probably because of the water we have here. Our water is really hard. It leaves that white spot residue stuff on stuff. Like we use a Brita filter pitcher, and we keep it full, and that's what I use for cooking and for the coffee and stuff like that. But I don't have the filter hooked to my faucet. I need to get one of those. So the water that I'm using, and I have 2 dirty jars right now of water, it's just regular tap water. And she said that that's probably what's clogging it up, that use the filtered water. So I'm going to try that. But all of mine are clogged right now. Even the newer ones that I bought, they're all clogged. And to be honest, I have these awesome little travel brushes, these kind, and those little Faber-Castells, and I could just use this. You know, I've gotten to a point where I like I know these aren't natural, like all of them aren't natural. They're either synthetic sable or squirrel, or they're a mixture of squirrel and or sable and synthetic. But they work fabulously well. So I don't know. I don't know. I've gotten kind of used to not using the aqua brushes anymore and using a real brush, some kind of, and I like that. And sometimes I will not put this on it to make it longer. Sometimes I just actually do the shorter version when I'm trying to do detail work. And having those little Faber-Castells are the same thing as an aqua brush. It just doesn't have water. I'm telling you, these are the best little synthetic. These are the most fabulous little brushes. I want to get another one. I want to get one to give Victor, and I want to get one to give my daughter for presents for Christmas. I think I'm going to do that. If I could find a discount on them, I would get one for all my patrons. If I could buy them in bulk. I love them that much. Or maybe I'll buy a couple of sets and then split the brushes up. I love them. They're fantastic. And they're adorable. And not for nothing, I didn't realize it, but how lovely is that together? So, I don't know. How is everybody doing? I've rambled on. And I finally got the little hashtag above my title for my video. I'm so excited. I don't know how exactly I did it, but I tried 2 or 3 different ways to see if I could get it up there, and I got it up there. So I don't know which way I did that actually worked. Oh, and while we're on, for those of you who've actually watched the September setup, the card I pulled for today had a deer in it as well. I'm telling you, synchronicity, it's the deers. My dad, I don't know. It's got the little blue bird and the deer. So I'm going to draw this, I think. Only I might give her curly hair and no mask. I don't know. I like changing things up. That is really pretty. These are the most gorgeous cards. I love these kinds of cards for art inspiration too. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting too. I was like, oh wow, another deer. I guess I should have been filming it though. That way people didn't think I went through the whole deck and picked out one with a deer. But I was like, wow. So I think tomorrow I'm going to film. It is their oracle cards. It is the Secrets of the Mystic Grove. Artwork by Mary Elaine Thomas, written by Arwen Lynch. One of the other deck that I was using are the Namaste cards. They're blessing cards. They're oracle cards. I was drawing some of the images from these, and I will probably go back in the fall to do some of these images because they are gorgeous. Like, whoa. There are a lot of nature, trees, and stuff. Um, there's a couple of them that have like angels. Um, but I love stuff like this. Like, here's a tree. And that looks like a dogwood. So, I'll leave the links to both of these sets. I got them from Amazon. Yeah, that's the one that looks like the angel. But I like them for art inspiration too. It's a great way, it's part of my morning routine to pull one of the cards. And I like using them for art inspiration and to put myself in a positive mindset. Like part of what this card stands for, it says protection, but it says warrior, safety, acts of kindness. And what it tells you, which I found really interesting, is you are being called on to stand up for those who need you. Make sure you understand that the person you see in the mirror should also be under your care. Let the arrow of determination show others that you do see what they are doing. Stand up for those who need your help. Look for ways to show your own devotion to your environment. Everyone can pick up trash or donate time to help those in need. The mask the goddess wears is to ensure her anonymity. That's a hard word. Perhaps your mask will mean stealth acts of kindness where no one but you knows what you've done. There is a power in doing something good for the sake of the good rather than for praise or recognition. Protect the helpless by being there for them. Battles don't need to be engaged just yet. Your standing guard will be enough. And when I read that, that's when I knew I needed to go ahead and go live and talk about why the videos hadn't been on YouTube and to talk about why I've been trying to work through things. When you are battling depression, grief is stress and things like that make it worse. And I had to take time on and off for self-care. And my commitment is still here, but I wanted to be accountable. I wanted to talk about it openly. It does get overwhelming sometimes when you're trying to get everything done. The wisdom of the oracle, I'll have to check that one out. I have the vintage wisdom oracle deck, and those are really pretty with the women on it, the vintage women. That one's really pretty. But I don't have I think, yeah, I have 3 oracle decks, and that's it. But I love the oracle decks because they're like affirmations to me. I actually have an affirmation deck. It's not an oracle deck, it's an actual affirmation deck. But I like these better because these are, you can read the meanings or you can look at the images and get what you get from the images. And I've looked up like daily affirmation quotes, and some of them I like, and then some of them are kind of cheesy. Some of them are kind of woo-woo, and I'm okay with woo-woo sometimes, but other times I want something that really makes me think, you know. And some of the affirmation quotes, things like that, don't really make me think. I like the ones that make me think. And this is a good way for me to have some silent time, some a little bit of scribe work, and a little bit of pretty art as well. So I usually write about the card. And I like that time for myself in the morning. You know, I have on occasion I still do actual morning pages, but the way that, but I kind of do my own thing with the morning pages. I kind of start with the card and I write down things, and then it'll go from there. And then sometimes I do that sort of brain dump thing, and then sometimes I don't. This morning, it led me to the self-care talk, and I wrote down a bunch of stuff um, about how, like, in the beginning, I was hesitant saying no. You know, I was really tentative about saying no to people. You just got The Lavish Earth by Amy Winston in the mail yesterday. They're stone cards. Ooh, a stone for each month. That sounds good. I love river rocks and stones and minerals and things like that. I have some on my windowsill. You have several. Yeah, I don't have very many. I have 3. um, I just got this deck a few weeks ago, about a month ago or so, I guess. About a month and a half ago, maybe. Um, but or a month ago, something like that. Um, I think I got them at the end of July or in July. Or at the beginning of August. Anyway, I could look on my Amazon order thing. Um, I love nature, and I love the images that these have. Um, I want a moon. There's a moon oracle deck, but it's like quite kind of expensive, and it's on my wish list. It actually comes from a website. I think Amazon has it, but Amazon's price is the one that comes with the wooden box, and I don't need the wooden box, but still $40 for Oracle cards are quite a bit expensive. You've been using cards. I have had a tarot deck that I've had for how old is I've had the tarot deck for at least 20 years or whatever. It's called the Enchanted Tarot, and that was my first tarot deck. And the images really called to me. They're beautiful. Um, and that was my first one, and I think I've had it for over 20 years. My daughter's about to be 27. So I've had it for probably 21 or 22 years. Maybe not quite that long, or maybe a little bit longer. Um, I love the images. I'm definitely more of an intuitive person when it comes to tarot. And I love using tarot and oracle cards for my writing. For me personally, I like oracle cards for me. But for my writing, I like the tarot cards and the archetype cards. So, yeah. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any suggestions? So I'm going to start doing coffee chats again. I can either do live, I could do a live coffee chat once or twice a month, and then do 1 or 2 coffee chats where I pick something and I talk about it. Learning how to say no is one of the most powerful things we can learn. Yes. 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 And I still struggle with it. But I'm getting better at it. And I'm getting better. I'm still apologizing. But I think that's because when you commit to things, like my schedule on YouTube is supposed to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I don't do what I say I'm going to do, then I feel like I should apologize. Even if the reason I didn't do it is understandable and most people will be okay with that, you are still letting people down because they're looking forward to what you've said you're going to do. But knowing that there are certain times when I can't do something, um, I, I'm okay with not being able to do it, but I still feel the urge to apologize. So I don't know if I'm still learning, still learning. I have a ways to go, and I think participating in September self-love will be a really good way for me to take a better look at my boundaries and why I tend to be a person who apologizes. Um, First, why I tend to, on occasion, get a bit defensive. You just drew Garnet. The card says Garnets bestow courage, hope, and trust in difficult situations, displayed endurance. Oh, that. You have cards with stones? Oh, yeah, the stones. Okay, I'm going to have to get that deck. I like that. I love, oh, that sounds right up my alley. But I like doing stuff like this. Like, when I did this page, I saw my feather washi tape, which I haven't had in a while, and the feathers, I was thinking the owls. And so I started watercoloring feathers. And when I did the little owls and stuff, I kept pulling the deers. It just, and now I got this card. So I know I'm headed in the right direction. Evidently, I don't know if there are some more of these cards with the owls on it, but I'm thinking that there probably are, and I'm probably going to end up pulling another one of those pretty soon. So I don't know. I'm getting more and more into my own thing and not thinking about what others are going to think. Like talking about the oracle cards and the tarot cards. There are some people who've left my channel because of that. And if that's the case, then, you know, I'm sorry that offends them or that upsets them. But, you know, I'm going to be me. And I'm not going to apologize for being me. I can apologize that certain things upset people, but I can't apologize for being me. And that's why I think this next month, September self-love, is really going to help me be more strong and courageous and brave in my own acceptance of parts of myself that I've been hesitant to share, hesitant to embrace even sometimes. That exactly, John. That's why I wrote that quote down that I wrote. And I actually wrote it down in my sketchbook. Because that word, when you replace the word art, and I wrote it down, and I wrote some of the things down that really stood out to me. Being good at art is not about how good you are. It's about how you are. There's that Dr. Seuss quote. It's one of my favorite Dr. Seuss quotes. You know, those who matter won't mind, and those who mind don't matter. You know, that's where I'm at. I realize that being true to myself, putting myself out there as an artist, as a writer, as a creative person, as a person, I have to be true and authentic to me. And that's what I have based my whole channel about. When I very first started doing videos about NaNoWriMo and planning, I didn't edit the videos. It took me forever to get them done. And I am much more open on Patreon. They get the whole. I don't know what a carnelian stone is, but that I'll have to look that up, Donna. But the more I've been, this month was my 2-year anniversary on Patreon. And the longer I have been on Patreon, the more mature my art has gotten, the more I've blossomed as a person and as an artist, as a writer, because the more creative I am, the more I want to create in all aspects, the more I want to do DIY projects. But because YouTube, you don't ever know really who is watching. It's a pretty red stone. Well, you know, I love red. My brother gave me this, and I love amethyst. And my brother gave me this. This is like so gorgeous. I want some more of these. I like these kind of things. And I have, Jim sent me some stones, insecurities. There you go. Well, I definitely need that one. This thing doesn't even fit together anymore, I don't think. But I'm at this place where I want to be more grounded all the way around. I want to follow where my path is taking me. And sometimes that road, like Frost said, is the road less taken. And I love being unique. I love being different. I don't know why there are bits and parts, though, about being different and unique that I haven't fully embraced because of insecurities, because of fear and self doubt. And I guess, I don't know, going through everything I went through changed me. And that's why I chose the word for this year to be brave. And it's sort of poetic in a way that as I am getting more and more and more out of my shell, um, I'm being more brave, and it's coming. It's like closure. I think I'm getting to this place where I feel like I've kind of come full circle, and the circle, I'm almost where I'm closing the circle. And this last little bit is that last little bit. This is the last little bit I really need to work on, to be true to myself, to be to thine own self be true. Um, and that's why I think when I pulled this, and this is, I haven't really done a whole lot of that kind of stuff on YouTube. So showing it, getting more and more out there with the spiritual side of me. I can walk out in nature and take a walk, and it feeds my soul, literally. Oh, I need to take an allergy pill. And I need to go blow my nose, evidently. Because I'm gonna start doing that whole sinus thing soon. But the more I feel like I have come to this really good place, and I'm at at the last stretch, at the last stretch of that. And I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Seabiscuit. He had to be prompted to go fast. Like he was like, let him see eye to eye the other horse, and then he'll go. Like, he was a lazy start. He took his time, and then boom, it was a really good movie. I enjoyed that movie. I like movies based on true stories, but that's been me. I've been a late bloomer. I think it's because I was so busy being an adult and raising my kids, being a single parent, that with a lot of other things, I put off a lot of things for myself, my creativity, my writing, my art. I did things, but not fully, like I was just busy being a mom, and I didn't embrace all of those things. Now I hit my 40s, excuse me. I hit my 40s, and I met somebody who loved and embraced all of me, and he is really the we're the yin to each other's yang, or the yang to the yin. I'm trying to think of which one's the male female, but I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter. But because before that I was in a long-term relationship with a woman. Um and but I finally met somebody who could be a true partner, who could be someone who embraced me and all I am, and loved me exactly the way that I am, and didn't want to change me. He actually prompted me to be more creative, to get back to writing, to get back to art, to be myself. And he never ever suffocates me. He is my biggest fan, and he's a musician, and I'm his biggest fan. And so we're both creative people, just in completely different ways. And I feel like I'm at this place where I can embrace who I am all the way, or I can just duck and run and get undercover and continue down that path of only being half true to myself. So this is a very deep conversation for a YouTube video. but we all go through things. And my dad's death and my mom almost dying, and if I hadn't put her in the ER and got things going, my mom would not be here. If we'd have just waited, her organs were shutting down. If we had waited 30 minutes to an hour, I would not have my mom. I would have been having a memorial service for both of them. That will make you stop and think. Um, and it did. It changed me. And I don't know. Thank you. I feel like I've been blessed to have my mom for a longer period of time, that it wasn't her time to go. And that was exactly what I told her. Mom, I whispered in her ear and I hugged her and I said, if it's not your time to go, then fight. You need to fight. But if it's your time to go, I will accept that and I love you. But if it's not your time to go, you better fight, you know? And she did. She fought. And I feel like now, I can't tell my mom, fight for your life, fight for who you are, fight to be here, and not fight for my own self, not fight for myself, to be true to myself. I can't do that. I'd be a hypocrite. And not that I'm fighting for death, because I'm not dying, but you know what I mean. It made me take a long, hard look at myself. And I've been struggling with that on and off over this past almost a year now. And I'm finally getting in that, you know, in that frame of mind where I'm like, you know what? The older I get, the less I care. Why am I caring about this one little bit? Why am I worried about this one little bit? This one little thing. And it's not little, but it is a little, it's in the scheme of things, in the whole picture. If you look at it in the whole scheme of things, big picture, it's not a big thing. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to leave my email. It's, for those of you who actually want to contact me, that's the email that doesn't get a bunch of junk in it. Like for the other, there's like, I have another email that's the email that I used to have. It's still on some of the other videos. So every now and again, I'll get a video. I'll get somebody who emails me, where I sign up for classes or for webinars and everything. I don't have anything going to that email, but people who email me and the newsletter stuff. And there's like one or two other things. Yeah, constant contact, and I think two other things, but they're they're more like I need to keep up with what's going on with those things. So it is a moment in my life. Yeah. And I'm at that precipice, when you're at the cliff and you're looking over, I've been dangling off that cliff for a little while, looking, just enjoying the view and looking. And I'll put one little foot like in the edge of the water, or in the edge off that, and there have been times when I've kind of jumped in a little, but not all the way. Or like at the lake or in a pool or whatever. It could be not a cliff, but the metaphor is still the same. There's a great, the top of brainpickings.org today that you might like. I'll look. I love Pablo Neruda. I think I've got one of the books. A book is poetry, I think. Something. But I'll look that up. I feel wonderful, there are bad days and good days. Monday was a bad day because I felt sick to my stomach all day, thanks to something I ate. But that had nothing to do with my mental state. My mental state's in a really good place. About a month ago, my brother went in the hospital. He had a seizure while driving and ended up in an accident. And the cops thought he was drunk, and he wasn't drunk. He had a seizure. That scared the crap out of me. So there's been like that made me think. It's been a lot of different things. And I'm getting to an age where, I don't have time for this petty stuff. I don't, and But I'm not going to beat myself up over the fact that I let a lot of that get to me for a long while. You know, like what other people thought, and the fear and the self-doubt and the insecurities. I'm just at that place where I know I have to move forward. And the only way to move forward is to just move forward. You know, I got to quit looking back. So that was, and when I pulled those cards for September, and that was what those cards said, because I wrote them down, I was like, oh my God, why? You know, the big card for September was look ahead. So I'm going to go because I'm sure my battery is charged by now. And I have a journal with me to do for YouTube, and a journal with me to do for Patreon. I got a whole bunch of stuff to do. I don't know where my other... Oh, my journal is back here. I have been precious with this journal. Yeah, let go and move on. I have a shelf over here on the wall. It's a little one. And I used to have my pen inks on it, but because of where I have the craft table and everything, if I put the inks over there, I can't reach them well. So now I put a few books over there. I've got Anne Rice's the Beauty series, the first 3, and then I've got the Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and another book, some poetry love books, and then 2 coffee cups with pens in them. And my right here is my router. So I drew that. I haven't watercolored it yet because one of the things was to draw what's right in front of you. And then I drew one of the roses that's back there in that. And then I was, August was Leo month, and so I did the lion. So I'm trying to finish up this journal, but I'm not doing document my life really in it. I'm just kind of doing some things in it, just having a bit of fun. I never did finish that. I need to finish that. That was Victor's Play-Doh stuff. So I'm trying to kind of get finished up with this. So I'm taking one day. Every day I'm doing one thing. It could be something that's right in front of me on my desk. It could be something that I think of, like the lion, because I'm on the cusp of Cancer and Leo. Well, Ro would say I'm not. There is no cusp. My sun sign is Cancer. My rising sign is Leo. My moon sign is Aquarius. So I did the lion. And I should have done in July a crab, but I did do a crab. Actually, I just did it in the other journal. So I don't know. I'm just kind of working on things and having some fun. And I want to finish up this journal. But at the same time, I've been savoring it because not for nothing. She makes the best journals, y'all. She really does. She makes the best journals. And hopefully now that she's told me how she does these covers, the next time I make mine, I'll be actually able to do like a cover the way I want to do a cover, instead of having to go back in and revamp my own covers. So that's it, y'all. I'm going to go. I have a quote to write on a painting, a watercolor painting I did for a patron who won my giveaway. I got to find a quote and write a quote on it. And I've got some journal stuff to film and a blog post to write. So I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And if I don't talk to you, see you between now and then, have a great weekend. It's a long weekend, so enjoy your Memorial Day, Labor Day, not Memorial Day. We already had that one. Labor Day. Yeah. And enjoy it. I will be going to my mom's on Monday because my dad's birthday is next week, and we're having a party at my mom's for my mom because it's going to be a hard day. So I'm actually getting my mom audio Bible because she can't read anymore, and she wants to be able to listen to it. So I'm going to get her David and I found one, and that's what I'm going to get her. That's going to be her present for my dad's birthday. Y'all have a great one. Yeah, I'm busy, but that's okay. I like being busy. I just don't like being overwhelmed. And I'm not letting myself get overwhelmed like that anymore. And I normally I'm the one that does it to myself. So y'all have a great one. And I'll see you again soon. Bye, y'all.